welcome your 109th Grey Cup competing teams. Veuillez accueillir les équipes qui participeront au 109e Coupe Grey, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts.
Hey! Bunk, what up? Hey! Now we gonna have to let breathe on this. Work hard, play hard. Stay leg. Victorious. Oh, dang, and it's Squatty. Hey! Yeah! Go, you got me. Look, what? Boy, stay up in your lane. Don't push your luck. What? We ain't playing any games. So what's up? What? Let that waka flocka flame. Who or what? Tear somebody out the frame. Use a lame, use a fraud. Watch y'all all gon' get laced. Bring it pain to your squad. Shut 'em down, point 'em out, who or what? Line 'em up, shut 'em down, point 'em out, who or what? Size 'em up, shut 'em down.
Hey, yo, put me in, coach. I'm about to knock. It's fourth quarter, score tied up. My whole squad with me is fired up. The other team lacking, they tired, bruh. I'm trying to make sure they Joe White, bruh. Don't need Red Bull, I got anger issues.
Welcome to a beautiful June night in Calgary, Alberta, and not just any night. It is opening night in the Canadian Football League between the
And to start for the Lions, can they finish it though? Rourke, he's going to look to finish it right now. Far side touchdown. Rourke towards the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Javon Catoy. Rourke strikes again, a fourth time on a Saturday night at BC Place.
Is this the spot for Harris to reach 10K? He has the ball! And yes, indeed, he is the sixth player in CFL history with 10,000 yards rushing. Here it is.
Arbuckle towards the end zone. It's up for grabs. And are they going to call it a touchdown? Wow, they will. Morris to the end zone for Schoen. He's got him. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Sweet 16 for Dalton Schoen in his rookie season.
And look who it is, the sack leader for the Red Blacks, one of the leaders in the Canadian Football League. Lorenzo Malton doesn't waste any time. Gets Colaris on the fake, deep into the end zone. Touchdown, Winnipeg. They scored early, they scored often, and they are off to Grey Cup 109 in Regina.
Welcome to the 2022 CFL Awards. Bienvenue au Gala 2022 de la Ligue canadienne de football. Please welcome your host, votre animatrice ce soir, Kate Burness.
gentlemen, oh, that was special, wasn't it? Football fans, everyone in attendance tonight, it is absolutely wonderful to be back here celebrating the 2022 CFL season. So thank you so much for being in attendance. We have a great night ahead of us. Now, before we begin our event tonight, the CFL would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 4 territory in the traditional lands of Cree, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, Lakota, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Now, to welcome us here tonight, we were having a special performance by the Iskwewuk. Now, you're going to see jingle dance dresses, contemporary and old style, and we will be getting to those dances in just a moment. But now it's my time to formally introduce you to the CFL 2022 Awards. And I want to say a huge congratulations to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in attendance tonight, first of all. Okay. Trying to be three-time champions, absolutely incredible. No pressure whatsoever. Dynasty on the line. Zach, are you in the house? Zach, are you okay? Do we get nightly updates on Zach? Are we good? I don't know. I don't see him yet, but hopefully nightly. And the Toronto Argos back in the Grey Cup for the first time since 2017. Look at, we got some Argo fans in the house. Pinball's like, yeah, Grey Cup game, yeah. And I got to tell you, for the Argos too, like what an incredible run. Their last 6 Grey Cup appearances, they've won every single one. So good luck with that one, Bombers. They're on quite the little hot streak at this point. Now, CFL on TSN, we had a blast this season. If you didn't know, scoring was up. I felt like every other game ended up coming down to the final 3 minutes. It was incredible. And I don't know if you know, because we didn't really show him on TV much, but there was a phenomenal Canadian quarterback with the BC Lions. Is it Rourke? Yeah, it's Rourke. Nathan Rourke, ladies and gentlemen, in the house tonight. Nathan Rourke. So, well, Nathan, I don't overly likes the attention. I want to introduce my MOP for this evening, and that is his 93-year-old great-grandmother, Evelyn. Evelyn, are you in the house? There she is. Guys, she is double fisting Stella and wine at the same time. Now, like, I want to be Evelyn when I grow up. That's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I did an interview with Nathan, and he said, I think red wine is longevity of life. So, yeah, hopefully one day I'll get to meet Evelyn. So, my MOP for the evening. And you know what? We're here tonight because of the fans. You got to admit, the fans in the CFL are greater than any other fans, in my opinion, especially here in Regina. Correct? Yep. I see you up there, Rider fans. I see a little bit of sea of green. Sorry about your team this season. It's okay. I have lots of positive news for you all night long. But I must say, the one thing that we were criticized heavily on the panel this year was for the fact that we did not visit any stadiums except for Hamilton. No, you don't have to boo Hamilton. It's fine. Yeah, I know. I said that for the Argos. But I'll tell you this. The fact of the matter was, we did visit stadiums. And trust me when I say, you don't want us anywhere near your city. Nowhere.
Mosaic Stadium, Kate, for a football game.
Oh, Regina, week 6, am I right?
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out.
Oh, here we go. Riders to the Grey Cup.
Running around, trying to get free. Does for a moment, loses the ball. Enoch Penny-Lawyer takes it in for the Argo touchdown to put this one away. Thank you, Kate. A beautiful look at the nation's capital and the Rideau Canal heading to TD Place.
All right, end of the season, nation's capital. Let's go, Red Blacks! You got it, you got it.
This is your year, Lapo. This is your year.
That's what they call it? He's got his own sign. Oh, my goodness. Picked off again. Parnell with his second of the night. And he's going to take it all the way in. So that
Traffic?
we should leave. Okay.
Coach, it's so great to have you back at TSN.
Says who? Good Lord. It's the panel's fault I'm here. It's your fault, Milt.
Well, this has gone horribly wrong. Where should we go next? Winnipeg!
Don't even think about it, panel. Y'all not welcome here. Milt, Davis, who else on the panel? Dunnigan, Matt Dunnigan. And how you say that name?
Where are you, Willie Jefferson? Willie, my name is Kate. It's not hard to pronounce. Don't come to win. Don't worry. We're not coming to IG Field. That's all good, guys. Thanks for being a good sport. And as promised, for our special presentation off the top tonight, please welcome Izquay Wook.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Awesome. So, this evening, we're going to showcase two styles of dance that are native to the Anishinaabe people who spread across Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and some parts of Alberta. We got the contemporary dancers who use complex but gentle footwork, making the dance look effortless. They wear soft eagle plumes in their hair and raise eagle tail fans during honor beats to lift the prayers of the people. Then we got the old style jingle dress. The dancers pay respect to the original intention of the dance. They are taught to always keep one foot on the ground to ensure the connection between the dancer and Mother Earth. They lift their hands during the honor beats to raise the prayers of the people as well. Tonight we will also witness two styles of songs that will be sung by the Elk Creek Singers. The first will be a straight song, which will showcase the dancer's own personal style. The second is a side step, of which the dancers would typically encircle the area and dance side by side. Let's welcome our dancers to the stage. Here they are, everyone. Let's welcome the dancers. Now let's get ready to perform. Now, how did you guys enjoy that? That's good. Now, the next song we're going to sing is called The Sidestep. I would like to say thank you all for having us here tonight. You all have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Quaywook. One more time, round of applause. It was fantastic to kick things off. Tonight, we are also, by the way, going to celebrate another very, very special group of people. We are going to shine a light on some amazing women in football. Now, several of our presenters are women who are making positive contributions to football here in Saskatchewan or across our country. Some are fighting for women's place in the game, some are female leaders in the game, and some are ambassadors for youth in the game as well. And every one of them shows us that when it comes down to empowering girls and women, football is much more than a game. Our first award tonight is the Jane Mobby Tribute Award. Jane worked for the Calgary Stampeders for 28 years, a true pioneer in the league's football operations. And this award celebrates professionals like her who work diligently and tirelessly behind the scenes each and every day. All 9 nominees share common traits, including hard work, selfless dedication. To present this award, I would like to invite the CFL's first female manager of football and officiating development. She also happens to be a 2-time silver medalist with the Canadian Women's National Tackle Football Team and developed and deployed the KPMG Women in Football program for the league. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Laurence Pondbriand, or LP as I like to call her.
Thank you, Kate, for the great introduction. Appreciate it. I want to start by congratulating all the nominees. We are grateful for all the great work that you do on behalf of the Canadian Football League and our clubs. Félicitations à tous les nominés. Nous vous sommes reconnaissants de l'excellent travail que vous faites au nom de la Ligue canadienne de football et de nos équipes. This year's winner is from Saskatchewan, and she represents rider pride, rider persistence, and rider purpose. For 27 years, she has worked in a club's ticketing department. She's been more than a witness to the rider's incredible story. She's one of the authors. She has contributed mightily as the franchise went from being the CFL's little engine holding telethons to survive to its current status as one of the league's leading franchises, playing in ultra-modern Mosaic Stadium. Like the time she purchased the team purchased a new ticketing system, and she worked for hours to input all the old paper accounts. Yep, all for thousands of them. She has been an incredible mentor and leader, as much of a coach as anyone who has ever led the riders onto the field. And this spring, when she retires, she will be a rider employee no longer, but a rider for life. The winner of this year's Jane Mobby Tribute Award, la gagnante du prix hommage de cette année, from the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, Gail Munn.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, LP, and thank you, Kate. What a great night. I thought I might be closing it, not opening. I have to say, it feels very... Thank you. I have to say, it feels very odd to have not checked the door or timed a line or sold a ticket tonight. Congratulations to my fellow nominees and all award winners here tonight. Thank you to Randy and the selection committee for this special honor. To Craig and my executive, thank you for the nomination for the Jane Mobby Award. I am grateful to have been acquainted with Jane and to receive this award alongside Ross and Carol, the previous recipients. I would like to acknowledge past and present colleagues across the league, especially those with the riders who continue to work passionately behind the scenes and inspire me every day. I want to recognize the people who are my team. Jen, Carol, and Kelsey. You're out there somewhere. Yay, thanks, Carol. You have the same passion and dedication that this award represents. I also want to thank Michael, who encouraged me to move from arts ticketing to sports, and who has supported me all these years. It is humbling to receive an award at an event where many of our past and present CFL legends have been honored for their outstanding successes. When one looks back over my 27 seasons at the Riders, it can be a bit overwhelming as the league, the club, and Rider Nation has experienced so much change. In this industry, be it on the field or behind the scenes, it's the work that we do together that creates success. While individuals can have vision, it takes a team to make it happen. My career with the Riders started with the '97 Save the Rider campaign, the little engine that could. With securing the club's future, we began building the best season ticket base in the league. This became the foundation for many sold-out games. During my time, I have worked on technology, process, and best practice implementations. I have worked with many on creative, sales, marketing plans, programming, and strategic vision. I've had the privilege to be part of hosted playoff games, Grey Cups, concerts, fundraisers, lotteries, and many community events. I lived through the decommissioning of Taylor Field at Mosaic Stadium, guided Rider Nation to our beautiful new home, and brought fun projects like the Terrace this past year to life, along with so much more. In closing, I would like to share a few personal stats during my time with the Riders. 257 home games, 8 home playoff games, 3 Grey Cups at home, 2 Grey Cup rings, right on, 1 Olympic Games, and over 7.5 million fans served. Most of all, thank you, Rider Nation.
Congratulations once again, Gail. Well, it is time to recognize a player who burst onto the scene in 2022 with the Rookie of the Year award now. To present it, I would like to welcome 2 football leaders to the stage. The first has spent the past decade with the Regina Riot of the Western Women's Canadian Football League. She is a true role model for her football community. And the other is a 3-time Grey Cup champion, the all-time receiving leader in the CFL, a member of the Edmonton Elks front office, basically just a more handsome version of Milt Stegall. Please welcome Claire Dorr and G. Roy Simon.
I want to thank the CFL and all of you for honoring women in football this evening. It's deeply appreciated, and in return, I'm deeply honored to present the award for CFL's Most Outstanding Rookie.
Claire, you know as a coach how much it can mean to a team when someone new walks in the door and lights it up. Let's learn more about the nominees for Most Outstanding Rookie.
Dalton Schoen, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Dalton Schoen came onto the CFL stage in Winnipeg this season, posting one of the greatest rookie campaigns in league history. Schoen led the CFL in receiving with 1,441 yards and also in touchdowns with 16, the first to do so in both categories in 34 years. His 16 TD catches as a rookie ranks number 3 all-time, 2 back of David Williams' record of 18. The Kansas State graduate made 70 receptions. 41 of them were second down drive extending plays. 25 were on deep downfield throws. Tyson Philpott, Montreal Alouettes. A 2022 first-round pick, Tyson Philpott had an immediate impact for the Montreal Alouettes on both offense and special teams. He had 459 yards on 39 catches, but as Tyson's role grew, most of his production came in his final 9 games. An all-purpose player, he was a big contributor on special teams, averaging 13.9 yards on punt returns and 28.5 yards on kickoffs. Always a breakaway threat, 6 of his 23 returns broke for more than 30 yards.
And the winner is Dalton Schoen.
Tremendous honor. First and foremost, I want to thank God. I'm so blessed to be here. I think back on my journey in professional football, the ups and downs and everything I've been through, and I can't help but feel God's hand, guiding me on this path, on this journey, and just writing an incredible story. Secondly, I want to thank my family, my parents who are here tonight. They've been my biggest supporters since day one. Through that ups and downs journey that is professional football, there's been a lot of hard times, a lot of times where people tell you you're not good enough. And they've always been there to pick me up and tell me that I'm going to make it and keep me going even when I didn't believe I could. I'd also like to thank my teammates and coaches, a bunch of them who are here tonight, and everyone in that Blue Bombers organization. I wouldn't be here without y'all. I was so fortunate to come into an organization where there's this culture of guys who care more about the team than their individual success. And that's so rare in professional football, I think, and I feel so blessed to be a part of that. The question I got most throughout this entire year was, how was I able to come into this league and find success as a rookie and as an American adjusting to this new game? And the answer to me was always so simple, so straightforward. It's the people around me. You know, it's easy when you get to go out on the field and the guy throwing you the ball is the best player in the league, or when you have an incredible line up front, giving you the time to do what you got to do, or when I step out there and I got 4 other starting receivers who are incredible players, incredibly talented, have a ton of experience in this league, but then on top of that, they're even better people, and they never once hesitated to help me before I even had to ask for help. So, you know, to everyone in that Blue Bomber organization, everyone on this team, man, this award is a testament to y'all. Thank you.
Now, good news, Milt Stegall. I heard they were replacing Milt Stegall Drive with Dalton Schoen Way now. Sorry, buddy, you lost your street. Oh, man, I'm going to take so much heat on the panel tomorrow. Congratulations, Dalton. Now, to present the Jake Goddard Veterans Award, I would like to invite 2 incredible women from the Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation. Our first presenter has been with the foundation from its beginnings, and as its executive director, Cindy Fuchs guides them in supporting education, health, and amateur football initiatives right across the province. Our second presenter is Jacqueline Hurlbert, who is the manager of marketing and community for the Saskatchewan Rough Rider Football Club. Together, they co-chair the Riders Indigenous Task Force, a group whose focus in calls to action number 87 through 92, which specifically pertains to sport and business reconciliation, as outlined in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada's report. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Cindy and Jacqueline.
The Jake Goddard Veterans Affairs Award is presented to Canadian CFL player who best demonstrates the attributes of Canada's veterans. The award is named for the late Jake Goddard, who served his country in the Second World War and served the CFL as its commissioner. It recognizes an athlete who embodies the attributes of Canadian veterans: strength, perseverance, courage, comradeship, and a track record that contributes to the Canadian communities.
This year's winner meets this high standard. The 34-year-old veteran team leader suffered a broken fibula and a shifted ankle bone in week 2. While injured, he remained on the sidelines for every contest, supporting his teammates and attending all team meetings to share his insight and knowledge. Despite the extent of the injury, he returned in week 17 following a long and difficult rehabilitation process. This was his second major injury, after a very serious car accident during an off-season community appearance in 2019. But nothing can stop him from supporting the community as well as his teammates. This offensive lineman champions mental wellness, healthy relationships, and anti-bullying, using his own story to inspire others. He has supported so many club and foundation programs during his time in the Green and White: the Red Cross, the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, and new Win with Wellness program, and the Rider Reading Month, among others.
He's a big guy with a big heart. The winner of the Jake Goddard Veterans Affairs Award from the Saskatchewan Rough Riders is Dan Clark.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Just want to let everybody know in attendance that no quarterback was sacked in the making of this speech. It's okay. Our offensive line is slowly getting over it. So Congratulations to every other award nominee, and then players I've played with that are chasing after that Grey Cup. I'm beyond proud of you, and keep working hard and keep dominating. I want to say thank you to the Rough Riders for taking a chance on a 19-year-old kid that played junior football, that had no business at the time being a part of the Riders organization. He made everything possible, allowed me to dream big, and what turned into now 13 years, and Craig and J.O. hopefully going on to 14. I've immersed myself not only with our platform, but I've built my platform, and that platform's allowed me to travel from the top of Saskatchewan to the bottom and everywhere in between. And I thank you. I thank every single person that has had the opportunity to get me there. I want to thank every football coach, every teammate, every trainer, every manager that have been a part of my journey. Growing up in Saskatchewan, especially Regina, you dreamed to go to Taylor Field and Mosaic Stadium, and that was an opportunity for myself, and I still continue to dream big every single day when I have that opportunity. To the guys in that locker room this year, to Maddie, to Trevor, to Ryan, to Kat, you guys not only kept me in the business of playing football, but you guys kept me on track to be able to overcome an injury that I thought I was done. I thought it was about time that I retired. But unfortunately, D lineman, I'm still like headbutting people, so I enjoy that. As we look at what it means to be a veteran and leadership and the dedication and the courage, Mom and Dad, you've embodied me every single moment of my life. My dad told me when I was 13 years old, trying out for the football team for the first time ever, you are the baddest person in the planet. And I still take that every single day. Thank you, Dad. As I was writing this speech, I don't know if you guys have seen that little mini, that my little rhino right there, he was playing catch. He's like, catch, touchdown, and then he gets tackled, and all I could think about is how proud of I am that little boy, as one day he wants to take over his dad as a center. My beautiful little girl, Kenny, you've been my nurse while I've been injured. You've been one of my biggest fans, and I am appreciative of you. To my wife, thank you for sharing me with Rider Nation. Thank you for allowing me countless hours in the community. Thank you for allowing me to take on the brother role with my teammates. And most importantly, I love you to infinity and beyond. Rider Nation, thank you for everything. I appreciate every single one of you teammates that are in attendance tonight. I love you, boys. Most importantly, CFL, thank you for the award. Everybody have a good night.
Once again, congratulations to Dan. Now, if it wasn't tough enough to play defense on that great big Canadian football field against some of the best offensive players in the world, the CFL set out this year to increase scoring. And with that series of rule changes, you'd think it'd be a little more difficult for the defense. But our next nominees for Most Outstanding Defensive Player were still unstoppable. Our presenter for this award, another unstoppable force and a former defensive standout herself. She was a dynamic linebacker for Team Canada, and she is the first full-time female coach in the CFL. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the BC Lions, Tanya Walter.
Thanks, Kate. The players in this category can dominate the game, change the momentum, protect their house, and ignite an entire stadium. Defensive stars are difference makers in the game of football. Let's hear more about this year's nominees.
Sean Lemon, Calgary Stampeders. Sean Lemon ranked number 2 in sacks in the CFL, matching his career high of 14 while completing his 14th season and 135 career games. Lemon led the CFL with 5 forced fumbles as part of a Calgary defensive team that recorded a league-leading 56 sacks and allowed only 22.1 points per game. Lemon now ranks number 15 all-time with 92 career sacks, and this is the first time he's been nominated for this award. Lorenzo Malden, Ottawa Redblacks. Lorenzo Malden had a major impact coming off the edge in his first year with the Redblacks. He led the league with 17 sacks, the first Ottawa player to do so since 1992. Malden had career highs of 43 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 3 pass knockdowns, and 5 tackles for loss. He was a consistent defensive force this season, recording sacks in 11 of his 18 games. This is the Louisville Products' first top defensive player nomination.
And the 2022 Most Outstanding Defensive Player is Lorenzo Malden.
I promised my wife I wasn't gonna cry. Hold on. I first like to say it's an honor to get this award of this caliber for sure in my career. And it makes me want to shoot for so much higher. I like to recite one of my favorite poems by Langston Hughes, if I may. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust over and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? I can tell you firsthand from experience, it just waits. It waits for you to climb that rope and ring its bell. Your hands may burn, you may be fatigued, and gravity may bear you down, starting you over, but that dream never wavers. It goes nowhere. It's just there for you or someone else to reach it. All season I preached the power of belief to my O-line and D-line trenchmen, because the power of belief influences the thoughts and behaviors of people around us. I wanted that for my team. I ran so we could jump. I fell, they picked me up. We knew how to move forward despite our record. I gave everything I had with a lot more left in the tank, with a little rest, of course. Not for me or this award, but for the Ottawa Red Blacks and what we were trying to accomplish. As I climbed the rope to a dream that I was so oblivious to, which was end-of-season accolades, I continued to help any way I could towards the team's goals. I held on to this rope. My hands were sweaty, and I was beginning to feel the rope dig into my hands. But I couldn't help but think, pain is temporary, and you have to push through it. Rest is imminent, but not until the job is done. For all the coaches and players in the room, we all know the job isn't done until the last whistle in the final quarter of that last game. Belief is a powerful mindset, and it will take you places beyond your wildest of wildest dreams. All you have to do is give in to its power and watch as your dreams unfold. I want to thank my Lord and Savior for allowing me to do what I love, getting me through my first full season and at a high level. To my wife, Erica, and my daughter, Serenity, for being there at my lowest in my career. Without their strength and belief in me, I don't know where I'd be. Probably my plan B or C. We were always asked about this growing up. You know, the first thing you ask for when, if football doesn't work out, what do you plan to do? To my family, friends, and support group for being there outside of football, keeping me level-headed through it all. And last but not least, Sean Burke and the Ottawa Red Blacks and our nation for accepting me and putting their trust in me to get the job done. I'm not gonna do it. In the backstage, I will. I'm forever grateful. I built forever friendships with coaches, staff, and teammates. And I'd be dead wrong if I said I won this award on my own. They put me in the best position to be the player that I am today. I can't wait to see what 23 holds. Thank you all for listening. Let's go Red Blacks.
Well, congratulations once again to Lorenzo, and thank you to Coach Walter. Now, as a lot of you know in the stands tonight, football is a passion here in Regina, and football is for absolutely everyone. It's the best part. Earlier you met Coach Claire. Well, the young ladies who have been bringing out the trophies tonight are from the Regina Riot, the first women's tackle football team from Regina. Yep. Thank you to Brooklyn, their left tackle, Kat, who's a defensive, of course Kat had to be a defensive back, that goes quickly off the tongue, Casey, who's a running back, and Abby, who's a linebacker. Ladies, I know I asked to join your team earlier, they said I wasn't tough enough, so anyways, needless to say, you're doing a wonderful job, and congratulations on last season, good luck this season as well. Well, fans here and across the CFL certainly understand the importance of a great special team play, a great return, a great tackle, a kick, or a turnaround in the game. Now, to present the award for the special teams player, we have two very special people. The first is a proud daughter of Saskatchewan and now serves as the football in multiple sports as the Chief Athletics Officer for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. She's literally getting on a plane to go out to the finals, I think tomorrow, she was saying. Incredible. And the second is a two-time Grey Cup champion who was inducted into this year's Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Please welcome from Saskatoon, Shannon Chin, and the man who holds the record for the longest field goal in CFL history, Paul McCallum.
Thanks, Kate. That kick was listed at 62 yards, but it was actually 63 yards. I start all my speeches this way. But it doesn't go over very well with the weddings and whatnot that I say it at, but I'm happy with it.
And the reason you want to nail those kicks is because every team has a dynamic returner. And this year's nominees feature two of the very best. Let's take a look at the nominees for Most Outstanding Special Teams.
Mario Alford, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Mario Alford led the league with 4 kick return touchdowns in 2022, while rolling up 1,689 total yards. He is just the 11th player in CFL history with 4 or more kick return touchdowns in one season, and only the 4th to score them in 3 different ways. Always a big play threat, the ex-West Virginia star recorded 13 returns of 30 or more yards and tied the single-season CFL record with 2 kickoff return scores. This is the first time he's been nominated for this award. Chandler Worthy, Montreal Alouettes. Chandler Worthy registered a career-high 1,824 kick return yards this past season, number 3 in the CFL. The former Troy Trojan averaged 23.9 yards, while tying the long-standing CFL record of 2 kick return touchdowns in a season. Worthy was a big play threat at all times with 15 kick returns of 30 or more yards, and his long gainers provided Montreal with consistently good field position. This is Chandler Worthy's first nomination for Most Outstanding Special Teams Player.
And the winner is Mario Alford.
Where do I start, man? Well, first off, I want to thank God first for allowing me to do what I do and just being the present of what's going on. And I want to thank my teammates. And I don't like to be a player who want to be an individual person. I like to thank my guys. A few of my guys are here tonight who kind of helped me win this award. So a few of them out there. So I want to thank them too. And my coaches and my family. I want to thank my family in West Virginia, my family in Georgia, for always being there for me and talking to me through these hard times. Like, you know, I was hurt in the past couple years. I was hurt and couldn't really stay on the field and make a name for myself. But I told the league that if I'm ever healthy a full season, I'm dangerous. So I played 13 games and I was real dangerous. I don't say much, but I just want to thank everyone. Rider Nation, I'll be back this year. Let's go.
Congratulations, Mario. To present our next two awards, please welcome someone who works tirelessly on behalf of the CFL, our leader and the 14th Commissioner of the Canadian Football League. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Randy Ambrosi.
Well, thank you, Kate, for the great job you do as our CFL Awards MC. And thanks for the energy, fun, and now my prompter's not moving, and insight you bring to the CFL on TSN all year long. And I want to thank as well the Grey Cup Committee here in Saskatchewan and your army of incredible volunteers for making us all feel so welcome. And thank you to the fans here tonight, and the fans who will pack Mosaic Stadium on Sunday, and CFL fans right across the country for making everything we do possible. And thank you to our partners with us this evening. Every one of you is part of the CFL family. And finally, best of luck to the Argos and the Bombers this Sunday in the 109th Grey Cup. I know you'll make us proud. I'm here to present the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award. Each year it goes to an individual who has demonstrated great leadership, someone who has made significant contributions to the CFL. This year's winner has served not one, but two franchises. I'm talking about our dear friend, Rick Lawlisher. Rick was president and CEO in Edmonton from 2002 to 2011. During his time there, the club won 2 Grey Cups and successfully hosted 2 others. He and his amazing wife, Joan, both thought Rick had achieved retirement after all of that. But then the great David Braley called Rick in 2018 and asked him to come back to the CFL as the president of the BC Lions. Since then, Rick has led the Lions through a vitally important time in their history. He provided wisdom, leadership, stability as David battled illness and then sadly passed in 2020. Rick then worked with David's estate to transition the club to new ownership and a dynamic new era under Amar Doman. During his 13 years in the CFL, Rick has served the league as an entire league as a governor and on countless committees. You see, like Hugh Campbell, Rick is a winner, someone who turns challenges into opportunities. The CFL is better off because Rick said yes in Edmonton, and it is stronger because Rick said yes to David and the BC Lions. And just so you know, when I asked him recently if this pending retirement is going to stick this time, it was Joan who shouted yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the winner of the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award, Rick Lawlisher.
very much, Randy. Ladies and gentlemen, to win the Hugh Campbell Award is quite something. Hugh and I spent a lot of years together, but he was a great mentor to me in my early years in the CFL. And as Randy said, when David Braley called me, we weren't thinking of this at all. So Jonah and I made a 2-year commitment to David Braley to come out and help him with transitioning the team, and we're just ending our 5th year. So it's been a little while, and no one thought, I think at the time, about things like COVID or David getting sick or passing away and all the changes. But it's just been delightful for both Jonah and I to be in BC. We've loved our time, and I've loved my time with the CFL, and there's a lot of changes that have happened since I was with the Eskimos a number of years ago, and one of those is the management council of the CFL. I think we've all learned that we are very competitive on the field, but when we're off the field, there's 9 teams and the CFL that have to absolutely work together for the future of the CFL, and I've seen that in a great way in the management council in the last couple of years. As everybody that's been up here has mentioned, team, and certainly BC Lions is no different. The team on the field and off the field. We've made a lot of gains, and there's still a lot to go. But to all of the players, the coaches, the football operations, and the business staff, thank you so very much. You don't win this award because yourself. It's a team around you, and they've been incredible. And with Amar and Dwayne, soon to be president, they're going to go further and further, and watch them on the field and off the field. Thanks very much.
I also have the distinct honor of presenting the Commissioner's Award. It goes each year to an individual who has demonstrated dedication to Canadian football, someone who has contributed to our game. This year's winner has been part of the CFL officiating team for 22 years. He has been an on-field official, a replay official, and our manager of officiating. His name is Jeff Harbin, and some call him the officiating whisperer. He's the teammate who lifts everyone up. His special brand of dedication has never been more evident than in 2022. Jeff went in for what he thought was routine knee surgery. The complications that ensued led to a daunting diagnosis. The doctors told Jeff he had sarcoma, a form of cancer that starts in tissue in the bone or muscle. Next came very aggressive treatment. It was demanding and draining. Jeff was in the fight of his life and a fight for his life, but he insisted on continuing his officiating work whenever and however he could. And that inspired everyone around him, including his fellow officials on the field. Jeff's courage and dedication are worthy of recognition on their own. But in selecting him for this award, I'm also choosing to send a broader message. And the message is this: officials deserve recognition, and they deserve respect. We face a challenge in amateur football today. There is a shortage of people willing to be officials. When we disrespect officials at any level, we make the challenge that much bigger, and we hurt the game we love. But whenever we acknowledge an official, whenever we thank one, we make our game stronger. And tonight we're doing just that as we honor one of the most dedicated officials. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the winner of the 2022 Commissioner's Award, Jeff Harbin.
Thank you very much. I literally wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for some outstanding medical care I received in Toronto. First, Dr. Zarnett of the Argos, Dr. Ferguson, who performed the limb salvaging surgery and installed the prosthetic femur and knee I now have, and then Dr. Razak, who led the chemo treatments. It's interesting. Have you seen the names of the people who've won this award before? Like Hugh Campbell, Russ Jackson, Ron Lancaster, Wally Buono, Rider Nation in 2010. Like, I don't think my name belongs up there with them, but I will accept this for officiating in general, not just me. Like, you know, how many people came here tonight hoping they'd hear an ex-referee speak? Probably not too many, right? I was telling my siblings about this, and my sister said, just relax, be yourself. No one expects an official to be perfect, so here we are. But I want to echo what Randy said. I want to take a moment to talk about officiating. There is a big challenge at the amateur level. There's not enough officials. You know, look at me. I represent the average amateur official in North America in terms of age, sex, and color or ethnicity. We need to, and we dinosaurs are dying off. We need to broaden the pool of officiating. We're working on that in the CFL. We have a program going for that. We have 2 female officials on the field now, but we need to encourage officiating so that the officials represent and are the demographic of the people playing the sports. I strongly believe that. We also need to improve the treatment of officials. We had an official in Quebec a couple of weeks ago assaulted at halftime of a game. Very serious injuries, right? He's still under treatment, removed from the game. So, you know, respect, as Randy said, respect for officiating is a respect for the game. So instead of yelling at the officials, you can hold us accountable. We're good for that. But go and thank them. Thank them for giving up their time, stepping into the fire, and working the games they're working so that the participants can have fun. That's what they're trying to do out there, is just have some fun, right? I would just like to thank everyone in the CFL family I've dealt with over the years, different players. We've had some relationships, some interesting interactions. Some of them are fun, some of them not so much fun. The coaches, a lot of coaches, I've been on rules committee for a while too. A lot of coaches have taken a lot of time to help explain the game to me so I can pass that down to our officials. Yeah. That wasn't supposed to be a joke, but yeah. But, you know, get it from the coach's perspective, because officials have a different perspective on the game. We have to get everyone on the same page, right? All the officials, past and present, the dedication, it's hard to understand how dedicated these people are to the game, how much of a toll it takes on their family and their workplace, you know, the co-workers who cover for them and so on. And then my family, it's, you know, it's, my mom was the ardent CFL fan in our family, big Russ Jackson fan. My dad was my first coach at high school. He gave me different advice than Dan Clark's dad did. He said, Jeff, if you like football and you want to continue, maybe you should consider officiating. You might have a better future there. And while he's not actually family, Darren Hackwood, my boss, it's like family. He's the one who gave me the space and time to heal and contribute this year. My 2 children, Scott and Diane, who missed their dad for almost every weekend from May through November as they were growing up. And then finally my wife Penny, sitting here at the front, who's been with me through both the officiating and health journeys I've been through. Thank you very much. Love you. And everyone, take care and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Randy, and once again, congratulations to Rick and Jeff. Well, each and every year, as we celebrate our players and our coaches, and we recognize some of the legends of the game, we also take a moment to remember those friends, colleagues, teammates, and leaders who have sadly passed. They will live forever in our memories and in our hearts. The entire CFL family extends its sympathies and support to the Mitchell family and the friends and family of all that we have lost in 2022. Now, to say a few words on behalf of the Mitchell family, please welcome Sue Ann Mitchell.
My brother Scott called me this afternoon, who's CEO of the Tiger Cats and part owner, and said, Suey, I think I really need to be in Michigan at Jake and Bo's hockey tournaments this weekend, so you're going to have to fill in for me tonight. Thank you, Picker. That's his nickname. So bear with me, I'm not very well prepared. Fortunately, last night I was working out in my gym in Vancouver 3 hours before I got on the plane to come to Regina. I was listening to my favorite workout song, Unstoppable by Sia, which always makes me think of the players running through the tunnels pre-game and gets me through those last hard bits. And I was thinking about my dad and the most important things that he taught us, in life. And one of the most important things that my dad instilled in us Mitchells, and I'll get to that very briefly. I'll mention my dad's history in football. My dad was raised in the North Hill of Calgary in a humble family who had very little but love and support. My dad discovered from a very early age that sports presented opportunities, and my dad loved sports. He won a hockey scoring title in high school and went on to be awarded a hockey scholarship to Colorado College. He was a fish out of water, being a Canadian at a private school with a lot of wealthy kids, and he was put into second-year engineering in his first year with virtually no qualifications for engineering, but he still managed to graduate in 3 years. The hockey coach didn't take to him and wasn't that keen on a Canadian on scholarship, so he didn't get to play much. In the summer of that first year, after his first year at Colorado, he was working here in rural Saskatchewan for an oil drilling company, doing heavy manual labor and long shifts in the heat. He reflected on going back to Colorado College and not being able to play hockey and getting away from the heat in Saskatchewan. So he decided to call the football coach at Colorado College. He called him from a payphone off of the job site and asked him if he could walk on and try out for the football team. The coach had a great attitude and encouraged my dad. My dad tried out, made the team, and had an auspicious football career for his remaining 2 years at Colorado College. He went on to play for the UBC Thunderbirds and the BC Lions while at law school in Vancouver. When he was traded to the Ticats, he went east wanting to play, but no school would admit him to third year in law school. So he retired from the CFL and finished law school in Vancouver. What my dad would always say to us growing up, which is what I was getting to, is, and to anyone who would ask him about his various achievements in life, my dad would say, I was never an amazing or the most gifted or talented athlete. I was never an incredible student, nor was I brilliant, but I had a lot of heart. I put my whole heart into everything I did. That was one of the most important things my dad passed on to us. A lot of people mention that my dad was very accomplished, that he had great vision and a lot of success. But mostly my dad was all about love and loyalty. My dad was the kindest, most gentle, most loving, beautiful dad we could have asked for. Love and loyalty are what my dad taught us were the other two most important attributes in life. I hope we are following in his footsteps in that capacity. My dad's love and loyalty to the football and to the CFL lasted more than 60 years. For the rest of his life, he was the color commentator on the radio for the Stampeders while he practiced law in Calgary. He became the CFL commissioner in 1984. He was on the CFL Board of Governors and became a minority owner in the Stampeders. His devotion to the CFL never wavered. He was committed for life. On behalf of my family I want to thank the CFL for recognizing my dad tonight. I want to thank the Hall of Fame again for my dad's induction in June, which he had the incredible privilege of experiencing before he suddenly and unexpectedly passed in July. I want to thank the whole CFL family, the teams, employees, management, and owners for forwarding your and our passion and for continuing the legacy of the CFL, an undoubtedly paramount Canadian tradition. And lastly, to all of the players for inspiring us and showing us your amazing, huge hearts and love for the CFL and football every game. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sue Ann. Well, many of you know Jeff McWhinney as the keeper of the cup, one of the gentlemen who escorts the Grey Cup trophy on its appointed rounds. But what you may not know is that Jeff's late father played in the CFL, and he was also a Grey Cup champion. Now, Jeff has worked with the Canadian Football Hall of Fame and Museum and others to create the Glenn Keeper McWhinney Perseverance Scholarship Award presented by the Canadian Football Hall of Fame and Museum in honor of his father's memory. And each and every year, a deserving young student athlete who has shown perseverance, dedication, commitment, courage, and service to their community will be recognized. Sue as well. Wonderful. Well, this year we are absolutely thrilled to announce that the very first recipient of this award is Tabin Tulp, a dedicated and accomplished wrestler from Outlook, Saskatchewan. And I'm told she actually plays a little bit of football as well. Please welcome Jeff McWhinney, Greg Dick from the Hall of Fame, and Sue Ann Mitchell, once again representing the Mitchell family, for a special presentation to Tabin. Unbelievable fan base. And you know what? I know there's been so much speculation. I mean, all these rumors swirling around about quarterbacks and free agency. Well, I have some unbelievable news to report. What is it, Brooklyn? The Hamilton Tiger Cats, what? When did this happen? It happened on Monday. So he's not coming to the Riders? Well, what am I going to do with this authentic Bo Levi Mitchell jersey that I'm wearing? Thank you, Brooklyn. I want to look like an idiot up here. Ladies and gentlemen, to present our next award, two-time Grey Cup champion, Bo Levi Mitchell. Just in case, like if it happens, I want to frame it.
Just in case.
But look how good it looks, Bo. Look.
Only Kate Burness. It's not the first Mitchell 19 jersey I've seen tonight. I saw some Hamilton ones out there. Man, there are so many great players in this league. So many great players in this room. You know, sometimes we know we're going to be next year, and sometimes we don't. So if you don't, you're a free agent. Meet me at the casino. Drinks are on me tonight. As a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, we all know the boys up front are the smartest guys in the field. We also know that our offense goes absolutely nowhere without them. We lean on them every single day, and we also all know that they're the smartest guys, the most intuitive, and pound for pound, they're the most athletic out there. Unfortunately, we also all know they're probably the least recognized. Even though they deserve the most credit, we don't talk about them enough, but tonight we have an opportunity to change that, and we will. So let's take a look at the nominees for most outstanding offensive linemen.
Stanley Bryant, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. One of the essentials to Winnipeg's success has been an outstanding O-line. Their anchor has long been Stanley Bryant and his 186 career starts. The 7-time All-Star was a key part of a team that allowed fewer than 2 sacks per game and had the CFL's most efficient offense. Bryant is the only player in CFL history to achieve a 5th consecutive season as a division nominee for any league award. He looks to become the 8th player ever to receive 4 or more CFL awards. Brandon Revenberg, Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is the 3rd career nomination in the last 4 years for Brandon Revenberg as the CFL's top offensive lineman. After helping the Ticats reach the Grey Cup for a 2nd straight year in 2021, the Essex, Ontario native helped them get to the playoffs for a 4th straight time this year. Now a 4-time All-Star and veteran of 102 games, he led an O-line allowing just 2 sacks per game and an offense that passed for 5,000 yards. Revenberg is looking for his first win in this category.
And the winner for most outstanding offensive lineman for the 4th time is Stanley Bryant.
I just want to say I'm grateful for this opportunity once again. Just blessed to be up here. It's just, I don't know what to really say. It's just surprising like always. Nothing I could do without my guys, the offensive line. You know, we're brothers. We laugh together, cry together, fight. None of this is possible without these guys. The organization, the Blue Bombers, thank them for allowing me to continue to play the game of football that I love and been doing for, I guess, about 12, 13 years. And also just for my little son here, he's been my inspiration. Just happy that he's here with me to experience this. Look this way. To experience this with me. Hope this will inspire him as he get older. And also my beautiful mother who's here. And thank you guys once again. I'll see you next year.
Congratulations once again to Stanley. Good luck beating that cuteness, everyone who's left. Well, our next award is the Tom Pate Memorial Award. To present this prestigious honor, please welcome another woman who contributes to our game each and every day, the CFLPA's Manager of Association Administration, Rachel Rollo, and one of the finest linebackers in CFL history, and the recently re-elected president of the Players Association, Solomon Alamimian.
What a great evening. Shout out to all the award nominees. Shout out to Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Toronto Argonauts for making this year's Grey Cup. The Tom Pate Memorial Award At each Grey Cup, the CFL Players Association has an honor of presenting the Tom Pate Memorial Award. As a CFL player, Tom Pate displayed outstanding sportsmanship, dedication, and devotion to the community. In October 1975, at the age of 23, Tom's life was abruptly ended when he suffered an aneurysm on the game. To honor Tom, the CFLPA has given out this award annually to a player who displays outstanding sportsmanship and a commitment to the betterment of his team, his community, and his fellow players through their association.
This year's winner is a mentor and coach who goes above and beyond for his community. He has been a mentor for big brothers and sisters for 6 years active in the community. On behalf of the CFLPA, we're pleased to announce that the winner of the 2022 Tom Pate Award is, from the Edmonton Elks, Manny Arsenault.
Boy. Yeah, make sure that screen don't go off. Here we go. Praise to the Most High, and a huge thanks to my wife for being by my side, along with family and friends. In every community, there's work to be done. Dr. King said it best: life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about who you lifted up and who you've made better. My playmaking ability, that's God-given. But my ability to build relationships, mentor, and connect with others is a gift. And when I discovered my gift, it revealed to me my purpose, and that's to help people, to inspire, motivate them to reach their fullest potential. So thank you to the CFLPA for this awesome opportunity. It's an honor. And thanks goes out to the BC Lions, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Edmonton Elks organization for giving me a platform to display my talent, the talent of showing I care since I stepped foot in the CFL in 2009. And this is not the last time the league will be seeing me. Appreciate you.
Congratulations once again to Manny. Now, our next award celebrates a group of individuals who are asked to fill so many different roles. They are trainers, they are educators, motivators, mentors, advisors, strategists who also do a little HR and PR in their not so spare time. We simply call them coaches. Here to present the Coach of the Year award is one of the greatest leaders in CFL history. Currently the president and general manager of the Calgary Stampeders. He is a 5-time Grey Cup champion. He has been named twice as the CFL Coach of the Year himself, first in 2008 and then again in 2014. And this June, he was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. John Hufnagel.
Thank you, everyone. And when you look at who has won this award in the past, you recognize how special it really is. Ron Lancaster, Don Matthews, Cal Murphy, Hugh Campbell, Frank Clare, Bud Grant, Ralph Sazio, and my dear friend Wally Bono. To name just a few, I can tell you from a personal experience, it's humbling and deeply meaningful to see your name alongside theirs. So let's take a look at this year's nominees for Coach of the Year.
Mike O'Shea, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Mike O'Shea led Winnipeg to a league best and club record 15 wins in 2022. O'Shea's Bombers finished first in the West in back-to-back years, the first time Winnipeg has done that since 1962. They also made their third straight appearance in the West Division Final. O'Shea is also looking to lead his club to a third straight Grey Cup victory, a feat achieved by only 2 coaches since 1958. This is the second straight nomination for O'Shea as he looks to repeat as the CFL's Coach of the Year. Ryan Dinwiddie, Toronto Argonauts. In 2 seasons with the Argos, this is Ryan Dinwiddie's second straight nomination for CFL Coach of the Year. Dinwiddie led Toronto to an 11-7 record and first place in the East for the second straight year. Known for his offensive mind, the former quarterback directed an offense that featured the CFL's leading passer. His defense was number 2 in the CFL, allowing only 33 touchdowns. In 2 seasons with Toronto, he is now 20-12 overall. Their 11 wins is their best mark since 2013.
And the CFL Coach of the Year for 2022 is Mike O'Shea.
I always use notes. I always like a surprise too. I never want to know anything about this stuff. The benefit of that is, having to go through a process of gratitude, of putting it down on paper, who you really want to thank, and there's a long list. I'd also like to, if Jeff Harbin, he's already, there's Jeff. That joke about the coaches educating the officials, that's probably on me. The CFL officiating Hackwood, his boss, has given him the thankless task of having to deal with me every week, and you always make me feel very comfortable. Jeff, I just love to see you. I'm glad you're here, and very congratulations on the award. Very, very, very well deserved. All right. Media day today, and Dave Naylor quickly reminded me that we weren't very good my first couple of years, which means I need to start by thanking Wade and Kyle for sticking with me. Our shared vision of not only winning but creating a consistently winning organization was certainly tested very early on. Players, we landed Tuesday, and myself, Biggie, and Greg Ellingson had to do media availability right away. Greg, who's new to our team this year, and obviously everybody knows Greg Ellingson. He's been on a few teams and had a lot of success, been to Grey Cups, won a Grey Cup. He spoke about this Bomber team being the hardest working team he's ever been a part of. And I believe him, but it still kind of struck me because I hadn't heard it like that, especially from a player who hadn't been with us for very long. It was kind of like being a parent, and you're around your kids all the time, and until you stick them up against the door jamb and mark that line where their head is, you really just haven't realized how much they've grown. Our players work. They really do. They work together. And most importantly, they've grown into a team. And that's our biggest challenge every single year is just by the end of the year, by this time of year, just become a team. And they've done that, obviously, very well again this year. Thank you very much. Our coaching staff, they continue to push their own limits, trying to find that edge, always with the players front of mind, and in doing so have helped the Bombers to new heights. Paul Boudreau, Buck Pierce, Marty Costello, Kevin Burgoyne, Jason Hogan, Richie Hall, James Stanley, Jordan Younger, Daryl Patterson. All of you giants, none of them here, all of them working. I really appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen. As Rick Lawlisher said, you don't go anywhere without great people around you. Down in our little neck of the woods in the stadium, I've got a lot of great people around that always keep us going in the right direction, and they all take tremendous ownership of their group. In the training department, Al, Braden, Chris, Olivia, Taylor, Liam, equipment, Brad, Kevin, and Colin. Video, Josh and Evan. And certainly, last but not least, Darren Cameron and Matt Galacco. Those two guys, they do so much for organization. It's, you can't do it without them, as Rick said. They're always working. They always have the team's best interest at heart. Assistant GMs Ted Gavai and Danny McManus. Just look at Dalton Schoen. I mean, there's a list of players, new players to our league, to our team that have come in, and they are very successful. And as Dalton said, they have a great team around them that help them and welcome them in, but they've got to meet that standard, right? They've got to come in. They're tremendous players, but they have to fit. They have to fit. And Ted and Danny have always found guys that fit. I like them to a two-man touring band, and they tour nonstop. Those two guys do all the NFL camps, basically. They do so much work, the two of them. All right, so they're a two-man band, but they always sound like the London Philharmonic. They're amazing at what they do, and I appreciate them greatly. All right, family. My son Michael's on his way here. He's not here yet, but my daughters Ailish and Ashling are here. As time has gone by, they've grown from being just a fan of Dad, or then a fan of the team that Dad is on, to now truly fans of the CFL. And I think what's most impressive now is as they get older and we have deeper and deeper conversations about life, is they will never take the CFL for granted. They truly understand what it has given them and what joy it gives fans across the league, and I think that's important, and I'm very, very impressive that they have a great understanding of that. My wife, Rocher. Certainly the journey of any pro coach or football coach in general, it requires a lot of time. It's a perilous one at best. And, you know, you choosing to go through that journey with me makes it all that much better. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you very much.
Congratulations once again, Coach O'Shea. Here now to present the most outstanding Canadian award are two great Canadians who also happen to be chancellors at two great Canadian universities. The first is the Chancellor of the University of Regina, an accomplished businesswoman and a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders Board of Directors, known for her commitment to this community. And the second, and this may be the first time they place second in anything, they are the Chancellor of the University of Calgary. They are a two-time Grey Cup champion, a champion of diversity and inclusion, and a CFL legend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pam Klein and John Cornish.
Eminent Chancellor Klein.
Eminent Chancellor Cornish, welcome. Here in Saskatchewan, we're proud of our province, but we're especially proud to be Canadians. And our fellow fans and fellow Canadians everywhere can take great pride in the play of our nominees, the most outstanding Canadian.
You know, Pam, it's with great pleasure I stand here with pride, wearing our Chancellor robes together. You know, I've been on the stage a few times, but I don't think I've ever looked this good.
I share your pride, John, and you do look good. Tonight, we are presenting the Most Outstanding Canadian Award.
You know, tonight we have two amazing Canadian players changing the game, dominating their respective positions. Very excited to see who are our Most Outstanding Canadian nominees.
Nathan Rourke, BC Lions. Taking over as BC's #1 QB, Nathan Rourke set the league on fire right out of the gate. He led the Lions to an 8-1 start before going down injured. In 10 total starts, Rourke finished with 3,349 yards, 25 touchdown passes, and a CFL best 6 300-yard games. Historically, the Ohio graduate set a new single-season CFL record for completions at 78.7%, posting the second highest passer rating of all time at 123.6. And he set a new single-game record for Canadian passers of 488 yards. Rourke ran for 304 yards and 7 touchdowns in his first nomination. Curly Gittins, Toronto Argonauts. Curly Gittins Jr. emerged as the #1 receiver for the Argos this season, finishing with 81 catches for 1,101 receiving yards, leading both his team and all Canadian players in both categories. The Wilfrid Laurier product scored 5 touchdowns and led the CFL with 483 yards after the catch, 44% of his total yards. A consistent threat, 26 of his catches were clutch second down conversions, and he had 13 games with at least 4 receptions. This is Gittins' first nomination for the Top Canadian Award.
And the most outstanding Canadian player this year is...
Two-time John Cornish winner, Nathan Rourke. The trophy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I want to first congratulate Curly on such a great season. Yeah, great job. As well as the rest of the nominees here tonight, and especially want to congratulate the Argos and the Bombers on representing the league on Sunday. I want to thank my corner, the people that I trust and love unconditionally. Without their love and support, I would not be here. To my parents, thank you for your support and your patience. To my brother Curtis, thank you for your determination and competitive spirit. And to all my extended family members who were able to see me play this year, that was extra special for me. And I want to thank my partner Emily for being here tonight, and thank you for your love and unrelenting support and positivity. To the Lions, I want to thank the BC Lions organization. Starting with the players, I want to thank you for an incredible season, incredible locker room, for supporting a young first-year starter without hesitation, and for making my job so much easier on game day. Thank you to the coaching staff and front office and Mr. Doman for giving me a chance to lead the franchise, giving me the ultimate compliment of not caring that I was Canadian, but giving me the nod because they believed I could be the right player for the job. I was told going into this... Yep. I was told going into this league that that didn't happen all that often, so I appreciate that vote of confidence. To the Lions staff, the ATs, the EQ, all the people, the countless people working behind the scenes, thank you. And lastly, I want to thank the fans, CFL fans across the country, but especially BC Lions fans who showed up this year to be loud and support us. It was very special for me to meet fans, especially in visiting stadiums, who supported me. That meant a lot, and I think that's what this game is all about. I hope that more teams around this league are able to give Canadians the chance that the BC Lions have given me. Finally, I want to acknowledge the people that went the extra mile to help me succeed this year, especially coming back from an injury. Rob Williams and his family for your mentorship and friendship. Kevin Hendry for your healing hands. Dr. Dory, my surgeon, Dr. Regina for supporting my mental health, Tristan Sandu for the day-to-day work, my agent Cam Weiss, and my teammates for all the rides to and from the facilities when I couldn't drive myself. Thank you for this honor, and I can't wait to be playing in this game shortly. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Nathan. So, football friends, we've reached that time, the final and the biggest award of the evening. To present it, I'm excited to introduce a couple of my favorite teammates, Rod Smith and Glenn Suter. No suits, no Smitty, eh? Dave Naylor, Farhan Lalji, you guys here? Nope. Okay, whatever. Do we got like Dunnigan and Stiegel? Are they here? Guys? I'm sorry.
Alrighty. I'm supposed to reading some. Here we go. Thank you, Kate. You know the CFL has done a great job tonight of celebrating women in football, women who are leaders and role models on the field and behind the scenes. Well, when it comes to broadcasting football and doing it with energy, insight, humor, and a lot of hard work, there is our own Kate Burness. And we joke a lot on the panel. I mean, Kate thinks she looks better than me, saying we know that's a joke, but really just want to thank you for all you've done for the CFL and football throughout Canada. I think everyone else would say the same. Thank you very much.
I echo those sentiments, Milt. This year's nominees for Most Outstanding Player includes one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the Canadian Football League and one of the most dynamic receivers ever to emerge in the CFL, which has a long history, as we know it, of super world-class athleticism. Milt, you may know something about that. It's my absolute pleasure, an absolute thrill to introduce you fans everywhere to watch two players nominated for this CFL's top award. They truly set the league on fire this year. Let's learn a little bit more.
Zach Collaros, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Zach Collaros led the CFL this season with 37 touchdown passes, a dozen more than any other player. The former Cincinnati Bearcat had his first career 4,000-yard season, completing 70% of his passes and leading Winnipeg to a CFL best and team record 15 wins. With Zach at QB, the Bombers scored more touchdowns on offense than any other club in 2022. This is Collaros' second career nomination for Most Outstanding Player, and he looks to become the fifth player to win in back-to-back years. Eugene Lewis, Montreal Alouettes. Eugene Lewis was one of the CFL's best playmakers in 2022. He had an outstanding year, raising his career highs across the board with 91 receptions, 1,303 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 5 games of 100+. Gino led the East Division in receiving and was number 2 in the CFL with his 91 catches, 30 of those clutch second down grabs. He was Montreal's big play guy all season, especially when they needed a drive-extending catch. This is Lewis's first career nomination for Most Outstanding Player.
And the 2020-22 CFL MOP is?
Zach Collaros.
I first want to congratulate, as so many others have, all the nominees. It's an honor to be here with you guys, as well as current and former, just legends of this game. If you told me 12 years ago, however long it's been, that I'd be standing up here or even be in the room with so many people that are so accomplished and that are going to go accomplish great things. I wouldn't have believed you. So thanks and congratulations. The benefit of going last year is I get to steal a little bit from everybody's acceptance speeches. So Osh, and I always do it after Osh, which is tough. And I had to go after Nathan, which is not easy either. So bear with me here. But Osh talked about his daughters and not taking this league for granted. And Stanley mentioned gratitude, somewhere in his speech. And both those things, not taking this league for granted, and just the gratitude I have for just the CFL family, the fans, accepting a kid from Ohio who, if it wasn't for football, I'd probably be working in a steel mill somewhere in the Ohio Valley. So I have no idea what I would be doing without this league. So thank you to the CFL and to everybody who put so much into putting events like this on tonight, hosting the entire season, and goes above and beyond for us to play this game. Thank you. This league has led me down so many paths, and there's so many memories and relationships that have been built, but none are more important than meeting my wife Nicole, who's here tonight. Nick, this is a team award, and I'll mention my teammates here shortly. But I wouldn't be able to obviously spend as much time and put as much effort into it if it wasn't for you and your encouragement and your love and your selflessness. Not just since having children, but since the day you met me and decided, yeah, I'm going to go on this CFL journey with you. I can't thank you enough, and the thrill of my day is walking in the door, right before dinner time and seeing Capri and Sierra and you, and I love you. So thank you, baby. I quickly just want to thank the Blue Bomber organization, starting with Wade Miller, just your vision for what you want this organization to be and how you want it to be run. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for everything that you've done for my family since the moment that I got here. Kyle, for taking a chance on a guy who a few years back, nobody really had any idea what was going to happen. So thank you for bringing me in. Darren, Matt, I know how much time that you put in, and Osh touched on it. It's truly appreciated on my end and everybody's end. The training staff, our equipment guys, all the behind-the-scenes people who make this league great. We can't thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough to be in this position. Mike O'Shea, clap it up for them. Yeah. Mike O'Shea, just for your leadership, your vision every day. It's an unbelievable honor to just sit in a meeting room and just to be able to talk to you every day. I love you, and I'll always rely on things that you say and lessons that are learned, even when you're probably not trying to teach us a lesson. So thank you, and thank you for entrusting me with the football team. All the assistant coaches who again aren't here put us in the right position. Specifically Buck Pierce, for your trust in me and allowing me to play the game the way that I like to play the football game. So thank you, and to my teammates again. I think individual awards, especially in this sport, are a product of the team. I think football is the greatest sport that there is for that fact. I wouldn't be up here without you guys, and not a day goes by, whether it's in the locker room, the meeting room, or on the practice field, where I don't learn a lesson about being a better teammate, a better person, a better husband, or a better father. I'm just so grateful to the organization and to all of you guys for having my back. We talked about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, wanting to win that West Final, to buy one more week together, and it's here. It's been amazing so far, and let's finish the deal. Thank you.
Well, an amazing player caps off a great evening. I have had an absolute blast tonight. Thank you all for being part of the 2022 CFL Awards. Enjoy what is going to be a great weekend here in one of the world's great party capitals, Regina. We ask that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers please exit first, and then the Toronto Argonauts, and then the fans. No, I'm serious. This is like a real thing. And then I'm going to go crush some Pilsner. Everyone have an amazing night. Thank you so much for having me as your host. Good night, everyone.